Okay, what about, are you going to want your food storage? Are you going to want?
It's not mine. It was paid for with
Was
the family account.
I mean, some of it's yours because it was the family's.
Just take it.
This food storage thing is something that's very cultural for us.
You know, it's taught by our church to like have food storage in case the end of the world comes.
You need to have enough food to feed your family for when the economy collapses, when the second coming of Christ comes.
Like a
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, October 17th. I'm still not feeling the best, but I'm back better than ever. No, not really. Haven't slept very good in days, but hey, welcome. So last night's episode of Sister Wives, wow. Whew! Did anyone see this coming? Okay, so we're gonna do part one, and then we'll do another part two. This one is wild. This is the first part of the episode. What did I learn in the first part of this episode? That the Browns are preppers. And Christine's all like, Kody, you can take your prepping elsewhere. I'm out. And then I also learned that Kody and Robyn have conspired to find a way to try to manipulate Christine into staying in Flagstaff. And it includes using Truly as a method to get their way. Yep, that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. But before we do, can you do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and turn those notifications on so you know when I go live or if new content loads. Make sure to leave me some comments if you have something to say. And as always, share this video with friends. All right, last night's episode started off with a bang. Well, sort of a thud, because Kody Brown went over to Christine's house to talk about discussing things with Truly. So Christine and Kody haven't broken the news yet to Truly, and Christine wants to sit Kody down and talk with him about breaking the news to Truly, which, as you imagine, Kody is less than thrilled about telling Truly. Check it out.
I need to tell Truly that I'm leaving and tell her that I'm moving to Utah. I think it's super important.
Some of the older kids know that I'm leaving Kody, but I haven't told Truly.
I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of, like I've heard so many kids being devastated by that kind of news.
Christine's whole motivation for telling Truly has to do with the fact that everyone else in the family knows except for Truly, and she wants to make sure that it's said to her before it slips, like what will happen at the end of this episode. And on top of that, it's just important because they're getting close and they need to be able to do it. And she wants to do it together because she wants Truly to see an example of how mom and dad can still get along and it be a united front, so that it doesn't look like once we get divorced, everything's going to be terrible. Christine was trying to set the stage so that Truly would feel comfortable knowing that mom and dad were going to be united in this and it wasn't just going to be nasty. But Kody doesn't know about it because it's devastating news for it, so he has other plans.
some idealistic and naive way, I still think maybe we can get reconciled. I guess maybe I'm just in a state of denial and I don't want to tell Truly yet.
There's so many other things to sort of put in place. I mean, like, first of all, I need to start taking her with me and maybe have her for a few days.
Kody's brilliant idea is, let's not tell Truly that mom and dad are splitting up, but instead let's just transition and I'll take Truly for a few days. I'll have her for a couple days and I'll bring her over to Robyn's house. Yes, because then I can prolong things as much as possible and somehow find a way to make Christine stay and we'll not split up. That'll work, right?
I'd like Truly to come over to Robyn's house and hang out with me. It's just, honestly, it's weird being over at Christine's house. So I'm thinking of ways to actually get Truly out of this environment into really my environment.
I want her to come over every week. I'll have her come over for 3 or 4 days. We'll get a bed for her or whatever.
I'd like a separate bedroom for her. What are you thinking?
So Kody's made the decision that Truly's going to come and stay at his house 3 to 4 days a week. And he's going to bring her into his territory so that he can spend time with her. And it's going to be him and Robyn and the kids. And okay, and if that doesn't say my mom and dad are splitting up without telling me, I don't know what it would be. Like, how do you explain that to her? Like, I'm just going to let you come over to our house for a while. Why would he do that first before he actually tells them about the split? one would think like, mommy and daddy are splitting. Now, would you like to spend time with Robyn and I at my house over here? And Christine's just like, okay, that's fine, but can she have her own bedroom? Which they probably don't have a space for her to have her own bedroom. But it's a fair question, because if Truly is going to be in an unfamiliar home, she should have her own space, right?
Here's the thing, when people are losing something, if you give them something, they don't feel like they're losing something.
When Truly comes back to see Kody and she's able to spend time with him, it will be at my house with me and my kids, which I'm actually looking forward to. I think it'll be a lot of fun. You know, I'm one of those people who think that miracles can happen. I think there's always a chance that like Kody and Christine could figure something out, maybe a little bit later down the line.
Christine is totally for this idea, by the way. She thinks it would be great for Kody to spend time with his daughter, and she thinks it would be great for Truly to spend time with her siblings. She loves the idea. She just wants her to have her own space, and she hopes that Kody is being serious about this. And Robyn then is like, I'll love it. It'll be great. She'll be at my house with my kids, which means that Robyn's going to be the one that's likely watching her, because Kody's literally like never around. And then on top of that, Robyn drops like, well, you know, there's always the possibility that they get back together. So my concern for Christine would be that putting your child in a situation where they haven't told her about them splitting yet, and then having them there, it's like, are they going to try to plant ideas in Truly's head about Christine or about the marriage to get them to try to like manipulate Christine not to move? That would be my concern, to be honest, because neither one of them want Christine to move. It just seems like a dangerous situation. Not only that, but Kody's just not ever had Truly for that length of time. I just would have all kinds of concerns, but Christine's fine with it. Weird.
I've got to think about telling her. I just don't.
I don't want to tell
It's
her,
not a-
but she needs to be told.
Yeah, it's not crap I want her to have to deal with at 10 years old.
I know, 11, but she's a smart kid, and she is going to realize something.
Yep, there's Kody getting the ages of his kids wrong. Listen, I know it's not uncommon for parents to get the ages of their kids wrong. But the fact is, it's that he doesn't know his kids. He doesn't know Christine's kids. I get that parents are going to confuse things when they have a lot of children, but in this case, it's not about confusion. To me, it's that Kody doesn't know his kids. Even Janelle just cannot see or understand a way for Christine to stay, because she has nothing to stay there for. All of her kids are in Utah. Janelle said if the roles were reversed, she has kids that still live in Flagstaff, so she has reasons to stay if something were to happen. But Christine has no reasons to stay. Her kids are all in Utah. And Kody's just trying to find ways to drag this out and not tell Truly so that he can somehow make Christine stay. It's just very, very manipulative. It's just gross.
I don't want to move my stuff out. Christine moved me out. I didn't want her to move me out. I didn't give her permission to move me out. You know, I've tried to give my wives sort of the sovereignty to feel like they've got control over their lives. And in doing so, I made it so I had no control over mine.
So Kody doesn't want to move his boxes out either. Christine literally is like trying to get ready to move, and Kody won't even move the boxes that she's put out in the garage because she didn't get his permission to move him out. So he's not going to take the boxes out of the house. And then he says that he tried to make his wives feel like they had control of their lives, but then that made him feel like he has no control in his life. Come on, Kody, just gross. He's always the victim. Have you ever noticed that? No one is more victimized than Kody. Now we're going to get into the part where they talk about how they're preppers. Yep, doomsday preppers, that's the Browns.
Okay, what about, are you going to want your food storage? Are you going to want...
It's not mine.
I mean, some of it's yours because it was the family's.
Just take it. I'll start over.
You know, it's taught by our church to like have food storage in case the end of the world comes.
You need to have enough food to feed your family when the second coming of Christ comes.
Something that was taught. My mother always had it. My grandmother had it.
So fun fact, Kristen Decker, who is Christine's aunt, she was telling me, and grew up in the AUB, that they are preppers. These are people that believe that Christ is coming, and so they're preparing for the end times. So it's not uncommon for them to like hoard food, but not on only that, but because they believe that there's going to be like this apocalypse, they also hoard weapons and have like militias ready in the event that something happens. So they're not only like preparing for the food shortages, but they're also preparing to have like a military in the event that something happens with the apocalypse. So it's like super wild. Like that's a part of why some of these groups have militias on top of like they don't trust the government, but it's also because of the apocalypse, right? And Christine's all like, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't even believe in that. I mean, literally, Christine says that she doesn't even like, she's not a Mormon anymore. She's not in their faith. She said she doesn't even know where she stands for with religion. And Meri's just like, no, I don't do that. And when they talk about the food storage, it has nothing to do with Meri, but Meri's not a food storage person. So they're preppers. Preppers.
I honestly just sometimes struggle with the rush. I just don't understand it.
It feels hostile to me. I feel like she's done this as a backstab because she could have started talking to me about our relationship a long time ago. And she didn't. And she drops this on me. Then the next thing comes. Then the next thing comes. And to me, it seems really, really rushed.
Well, for you, maybe it's been a rush, but for me, it hasn't been a rush.
So Kody's like hasn't had enough time to process this, even though they've been talking about this for months and months and months, and he's not ready for her to move, and he doesn't want to tell Truly because he's not ready because she could have talked to him, and then he calls her a backstabber. I don't know how he backstabbed him by telling him she wanted to leave, because he's like, well, she told me she wanted to leave, and now she's making me do all these things really fast. Well, that's how breakups work. I mean, in average families, when people split, they usually end up splitting very quickly after that. I mean, the moves might not happen immediately, but it usually happens pretty quick. This, to me, feels like he's just dragging it out for the sake of dragging it out. But he's doing this as a way to control, my belief is. So that sort of wraps up that discussion with nothing getting resolved. They're not going to tell Truly, and Christine's just trying to be as accommodating as possible. The next part is they go to pick up Janelle's fifth wheel, and they stay over at the bed and breakfast. And Kody is like in such a hurry to get home to the little ones that he needs to go swab. Like literally. So anytime he does something with any of the other wives, he has to go swab, because he needs to get back and rush back to be with Ariella and Solomon. He doesn't have that same urgency for anyone else's kids. And mind you, Solomon's only 1 year younger than Truly. Think about that. So we learned that he literally spends no less than 2 or 3 days away from those kids at any time, ever.
I need to get back so I can test.
Oh, yeah.
So I've
too.
been too many places.
Kody doesn't feel like he can be away from the little kids at Robyn's house more than 2 or 3 days at a time. So our trips are always constrained by that.
I've been away from the kids for quite a while, and I'm trying still very hard to protect my younger children, and I really appreciate when wives will allow me to
You can
protect.
tell that Janelle's annoyed, but she's going to like go with the flow. Annoyed that he's only away from the kids for a couple days. Kody has this weird belief that only the younger kids need him, which is not true. And he doesn't do the same thing for the other kids. I mean, he's never done the same thing for Truly, ever. Ever. But he has to be there for Sol and Ari. It's such a double standard. So they're staying at the bed and breakfast. There's some joking back and forth about Kody wanting to be like in his room, and you know, Meri's like, well, I can make an arrangement for that. And then Meri talks about how the bed and breakfast got closed for a little while after her mom was passed away, and she's got a friend named Jen that's going to help her. And now she's running a retreat. I know I talked about that on my Instagram. So yes, I've talked about it on Instagram. I haven't brought it here just because it happened a couple weeks ago, but she's having this outrageously expensive retreat. And it's such a ridiculous, oh, it's so stupid. Anyways, so... But long story short, all of this leads up to Meri and Kody's relationship and this sort of like lingering like, well, I'm sort of not mad at Meri as much as I used to be. Now I'm just mad at Christine. Like, so now he's feeling more amiable towards Meri because Christine's the jerk. So does that mean he's going to open the door to Meri? I don't know. Probably not. But it's like, you know, they have to play with us.
I feel like my relationship with Meri is very good, but it's not a married situation. It's an amiable relationship, but I don't think it's a fulfilling relationship for Meri, not in any way. Right now, I'm in the gall of bitterness with Christine. On the other hand, I have a fondness for Meri because Meri and I are getting along. I don't know what is healed, but I'm not feeling betrayed by Meri. I feel betrayed by Christine.
So apparently getting rejected by Christine has made him feel more fond towards Meri. And you know what? The sad thing is if he were to like approach Meri about reconnecting their relationship, you know she would be like all for it. She would run to him and she would be all in because she's just waiting for that to happen. It's like, I just got dumped, I'm feeling blue, so I want to have a rebound with my ex-wife who I'm feeling better about now because she sucks less than this other lady who really has me feeling mad. He's just such an ick mess. This first half ends up with Kody basically and them parking the RV on the property. There's like a bunch of like drama about parking. Nothing goes wrong. Nothing happens. They park it. Garrison and Gabriel help with the maneuvering, and then the property is there. Mind you, leading up to all of this, he's excited about it. He's acting like he's going to do this. But we'll find out in the next half of this episode that he's no longer interested in living there because it's small, it's not like Robyn's place, and he doesn't want to, basically. So he plays the, I don't know, he's playing both sides. Like, he tells her one thing and then he runs home to Robyn and she says, ugh, and then he's like, comes back and he's like, I don't want to do this. So long story short, Kody doesn't want to tell Truly. He's feeling more fond for Meri, and Meri might settle for his scraps, and Robyn and Kody are conspiring to try to get Christine to stay. What are your thoughts about this part of the episode? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.